only thing the boxing people don't know more. The only thing they know is how much the guy runs and trains. But when they come in 2 minutes in the ring, anything can happen. I don't care what, anything can happen.
Urgency, or he's overrated. And I'm not saying he's that. I'm just saying that it didn't matter enough to go and do what he had to do.
Was actually countering Canelo Alvarez quite a bit. So as Canelo would throw, he would just sit there, wait, block, and then boom, an uppercut or a right hand. Another mistake that Canelo was making too is he was throwing like one shot, and then he was coming back squared.
Mike Tyson didn't hold back.
Mike Tyson came out swinging with his words after Canelo Alvarez's crushing defeat to Terence Crawford, branding the Mexican star as overrated. Tyson claimed Canelo looked ordinary once he stood across from Crawford, who dictated every moment with precision and ring mastery. For Tyson, the fight proved Canelo was never the unstoppable force fans believed, while Crawford cemented himself among boxing's all-time greats. He stressed that the loss exposed Canelo's long-hidden flaws and revealed the hype around him had always been exaggerated.
Prime, you gonna catch him? My man's telling me, but when those guys started being Chavez was already an old man. I gotta get from then, or you gotta get him there. You know, he had close on. It was man, he got like 90-0 before he got beat. Oh, you gotta look at those scenarios too, man.
Teddy Atlas, one of boxing's most outspoken and respected trainers, hasn't hesitated to tear into Canelo Alvarez's reputation. According to Atlas, Canelo's image as the face of boxing has been inflated by promoters, fans, and media eager to crown him as the sports king without truly examining the substance of his career. While Alvarez owns notable victories, Atlas argues many came against carefully selected opponents, giving his record a shine that doesn't fully reflect reality. He insists Canelo's aura of invincibility is less about unmatched skill and more about clever marketing, timing, and perception. For Atlas, the idea that Alvarez has been an unbeatable force is a myth built outside the ring, not inside it. In his eyes, boxing has been sold a polished narrative rather than consistent, undeniable dominance.
Quite as up in arms. We actually sometimes said he fought a smart fight. But when he didn't fight the kind of fight to make it an entertaining fight against our guy, against the popular Canelo, again, the king, so to speak, then we completely attacked the guy. So I think that that's got to be looked at a little bit, to be fair.
Mike Tyson had no doubts before the fight, predicting Terence Crawford would outbox Canelo Alvarez with ease. Tyson praised Bud's adaptability and all-around brilliance, insisting he could beat anyone put in front of him. For Tyson, Canelo was never invincible. Crawford's skill set made the difference, proving why he's boxing's most dominant force today.
Great fight. I think 50-50.
You don't think it's 50-50?
60-40, but you gonna tell him which one?
You think Crawford can stop him?
Crawford can stop anybody. I'm not saying he can, he's going to, but he can't.
Beyond Teddy Atlas, many analysts have echoed why Canelo Alvarez is often labeled overrated. One point repeatedly raised is the shadow of performance-enhancing drug accusations, which briefly tainted his career yet somehow left his reputation largely intact. Critics argue the bigger issue, however, came after his one-sided loss to Floyd Mayweather. From that moment, Canelo became increasingly selective, targeting opponents either past their prime or those whose styles favored him. While this approach helped him stack world titles and sustain superstar status, it also fueled doubts about his willingness to truly test himself against elite fighters at their absolute peak. In the eyes of skeptics, Canelo's carefully managed career preserved his marketability but exposed a reluctance to embrace risk. To them, the legacy built on calculated matchmaking falls short of what defines a genuinely great all-time champion.
All right, this guy right here is overrated as fuck, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, early on in his career, when he was the young up-and-coming contender, undefeated at the time, we all remember that infamous match with Floyd Mayweather where he just got dog-walked. Floyd Mayweather completely outboxed him, completely outclassed him. That fight ended up being a split decision, which is crazy because if you've seen the fight with your own two eyes, I don't think Canelo landed one clean punch on Mayweather the entire fight, and it wasn't even close. Also, early on in his career, he was accused and caught cheating performance enhancers. And you know what they say, once a dirty fighter, always a dirty fighter. Even though that's not factually the case because he was able to move on with his career, bounce back from that loss, bounce back from the cheating accusations, and make like a great boxing legacy for himself. In the court of public opinion, normally with most fighters that are, caught cheating at any point in his career, it always sticks with them. But with Canelo, it seems like everybody forgets. Now, obviously, to this day, he's still looked at as one of the faces, if not the face of boxing. But I think the way people accuse Floyd, especially in the back half of his career, of picking and choosing his fights, protecting his own, protecting his legacy, Canelo definitely has followed the Floyd Mayweather model. Not only in his game, he became a more defensive fighter after fighting Mayweather, and especially as of late, he's not taking as much punishment, but it's also because he's not fighting very dangerous fighters. And when he does, he gets exposed. One of his also top, more formidable opponents was Triple G, that trilogy. First fight was a draw. The second two fights, Canelo won by unanimous decision and ununanimous decision for the third. But I don't think the results, reflected the fights.
When Canelo Alvarez finally squared off with Terence Crawford, the flaws critics had long highlighted were brutally exposed. From the opening bell, Crawford, a masterful southpaw with unmatched adaptability, took command and never let go. He dismantled Canelo's offense, smothering his attempts to find range or rhythm. Alvarez, usually effective with steady pressure and counters, appeared one-dimensional against Crawford's fluid movement and sharp timing. Analysts pointed out Canelo's failure to establish his jab or build combinations, leaving him reliant on single, predictable shots. That allowed Crawford to completely dictate the tempo, shutting down every adjustment Alvarez attempted. Round after round, Canelo looked hesitant, unable to solve the puzzle in front of him. For many observers, the bout delivered the most convincing proof yet that Canelo's aura of invincibility was more myth than reality.
I think there was a lot that we could learn from both of them. I think there's something that Terence Crawford did very well. He did not allow Canelo to get inside. Like as soon as Canelo would get into that certain range, he would jab him. He would jab him, and then occasionally he would go low. Canelo Alvarez could not pop his. He couldn't get inside because pretty much Bud, he's a southpaw, and I feel like Terence Crawford. I mean, I feel like Canelo Alvarez had problems with southpaws, but not just that, dude. It was the range of what Terence Crawford had, dude, and not just that, man. Terence Crawford was actually countering Canelo Alvarez quite a bit. So as Canelo would throw, he would just sit there, wait, block, and then boom, an uppercut or a right hand. Another mistake that Canelo was making too is he was throwing like one shots and then he was coming back squared, and that's when Terence Crawford would actually catch him. You didn't see any like lateral moves where he would throw and maybe push off to the side, as we used to see Canelo Alvarez as what he would do in these fights. Allegiant Stadium, there was a lot of people there. Terence Crawford had the ability to fight backwards and stay composed, good defense, hands was always up, countering everything that Canelo was throwing at him. He was just a little more active fight. I mean, looking at the fight, bro, like it was competitive. Canelo did hit him to the body, but it was pretty much all Terence Crawford, man. I don't know how many rounds I actually gave Canelo, but I want to see a rematch. I want to see a rematch because Canelo did mention, oh, I didn't feel good. Like my body was just, it wasn't reacting. My mind wanted to. But there was something physically with my body that it just felt different. So, but overall, I mean, boxing tends to put these big events. These fights don't show out like the UFC.
Canelo's crushing defeat to Terence Crawford wasn't just another loss. It was the night his aura of invincibility finally cracked wide open. For years, fans believed his chin was impenetrable, his skill set untouchable, and his dominance unquestionable. Yet Crawford shattered those illusions, exposing weaknesses that had long been hidden behind careful matchmaking and hype. While Canelo absorbed punches better than most fighters in his era, the steady stream of clean, accurate shots from Crawford wore him down and made him look vulnerable, hesitant, and even frustrated. Analysts argue this fight confirmed what skeptics have said for years. Canelo is a great fighter, but not an all-time elite on the level of Mayweather, Bivol, or Crawford. By contrast, Crawford's adaptability, precision, and composure elevated him to historic heights, making him the first man in modern boxing to capture undisputed titles across 3 weight divisions. This was more than a fight, it was the redefining of boxing's power structure. The torch has been passed, the crown has changed hands, and Bud Crawford now stands as the new face of boxing greatness. If you believe this was the true changing of an era, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and like to stay locked in for more explosive breakdowns and the biggest stories shaking the boxing world.